Welcome to the Real Freedom Podcast, a Boise Real Estate Market Update Edition. Today we're going to discuss all things inventory, price growth, interest rates, what our team is really struggling with given the spring seasonality. Anything else to add, Cory?
Excited to be here. Excited to talk about the market. A lot of good things happening out there.
All right, let's get right into it. What are we seeing in the market? We're filming this at the end of March. We're just wrapping up Q1. What are we seeing in Boise and the Treasure Valley?
Things are heating up in a good way.
Yeah.
We're still seeing fairly low inventory. We're still seeing some people being priced out because interest rates haven't come down enough yet. New builds in certain areas. However, on the retail side for existing homes, we're starting to see a few places that we couldn't get an offer on move off the market and some really good action.
So last time we did a mini episode on this, we talked about how we got I think we had 7 listings in the first week of 2025 in January, and 5 of them went under contract in the first week. A couple of those had multiple offer situations. What are we seeing now on all of our novations and flip properties that are listed?
So we're not seeing that fervor. What we're seeing is consistent showings, and we're seeing offers come in, even on properties that are a little unique, things that require work, things that are maybe out in the country. We're getting offers in. Every one of them, I don't even know if we've had a full price offer recently. Almost everything has been with some type of discount, some type of concession, lots of renegotiations on that, but we're getting offers.
Yeah. I would say in Ada County, which is like Boise, Meridian area, the places everybody wants to be, within 30 days, we're always getting some kind of offer as long as we're reasonably priced. And a lot of times within the first 2 weeks for Ada County specifically. Canyon County, like Nampa, Caldwell, you're most likely getting an offer between 30 and 45 days if you're priced right. The surrounding areas, even if it's rural, we're getting offers for most of them within the first 60 days. So it's definitely not cold. It's definitely not super hot, but it is lukewarm. It is consistent, which that's really all we want, right? Is consistency. Like we want to know what's happening so that we can plan around it.
I'll take consistency every single day.
Absolutely. What about inventory? Where's inventory at?
Yeah, so I was just looking at that. So let's say for Boise, back in January, we actually bottomed out and then it stayed pretty flat, right around 230 active homes in Boise on the market. We've actually seen that tick up. We're at 299 with the last report of data that came out 3 days ago. So we're starting to see inventory pick back up, similar to the timing from last year, where last year the bottom of inventory was actually the 1st of March. This year, very similar. It's the end of February. Yeah. So pretty much the same.
So knowing that, we should expect seasonality to shift a little bit earlier than maybe in like 2018, 2019, or during COVID, which was like end of July. Last year, things started really slowing down on buyer and seller side, like 2nd or 3rd week of June.
They started early. Yep. Yeah. When people would typically think of the peak selling season, we were already starting to see that saturation. Yeah. And a big reason for that is if I look at the inventory numbers, again, just in Boise, they actually peaked the end of June 28th to July 5th at 477. And then they actually went back down for a little bit. But by that time, there was already inventory on the market.
So are we seeing price appreciation, plateau, decrease? What are we seeing?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's pull that up really quick. Median list price has taken a pretty big jump. Most of that's led by your higher price properties, but the median list price in Boise from January was $550. Now, $634. A really big increase in a short period of time.
Yeah. What areas are hurting right now?
In our market, the areas nearest new builds are seeing the biggest price impact. And so we have a lot of area for expansion, growth of new builds, and there was a lot of land that was bought up by developers. So anything in our Nampa, Caldwell, Canyon County district is a challenge to move, and we're having to get those at deeper discounts than anything in Boise.
Even Kuna and West Meridian, too. We've had quite a few properties that were probably like 2000s build or 2010s build, so they're pretty nice properties. They don't need much work. The problem is Lennar Homes and Corey Barton are offering what in seller credits for new builds?
Yeah, I just saw a report from Lennar that said 13% of their sale price was given away to the buyer in a seller credit on average across their inventory in the entire U.S.
13%?
13%.
So like on a $400,000 house, that's what?
52 grand, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, which is right at our median price point. I mean, I just drove by a new Lennar Homes yesterday that said like starting at 450 and starting at 500. Everything out there, they're giving big price discounts. So if I'm a buyer and I can get a lower rate because I get a seller credit, I can even get upgrades to my house. I get a brand new home. Maybe I have to put in a little landscaping. Am I going to take that over something that's even 30 or 50 grand less that's 20 years old or even 10 years old?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All day. It's making it really tough for us to have these price discussions because they're looking at their neighbors and they're looking at what their neighbors sold for and what the new homes are selling for. And they're like, everything's at 400. Why can't I get that?
Yeah. It's making it very, very challenging, especially in Canyon County and Nampa and Caldwell. You can have properties that are the same size, condition, but just because of their location, if you're near one of those pockets of new builds, like you could have the same property like 3 miles away that's like priced 50 grand higher because of comps, because it's not near any new builds. So it's pretty wild. It makes it a lot more challenging for us when we're talking with homeowners about what their different options are. And guess what? It's making it a lot harder for realtors too. So what are we seeing with realtors right now?
At Offer Now Idaho, we're looking to hire A players to run our organization and help us grow our business. Cory, why would somebody want to work with Offer Now Idaho?
Do you want to be challenged? Do you want to grow? Do you want to have people in your culture push you to be the best version of yourself? I do. And that's why I'm here. And in addition to that, do you want to have the chance at growing long-term generational wealth? That's all a possibility with a company that's small, cares about you, and wants you to be able to invest in real estate.
What's something that separates Offer Now Idaho from any other real estate company?
It's really rare to find a company that can help you get into a home. Sure, they might throw a few thousand into a 401k that you can access when you're 65. How many people are going to help you either provide a rental property or a shelter over your own head? Through our off-market home buying program, we assist our employees in buying properties once they've achieved certain levels within the company. And that's really unique to people because you get that asset. You get to do whatever you want with it. And you're buying an off-market discounted property to improve the quality of your life and your family's life.
Yeah, not only that, we offer benefits and we have a very challenging and high growth energy startup feel to our work environment. So we are looking for people that want to make over 6 figures a year. Right now, we have a $3,000 referral program. If you know somebody that's looking for a new role, we will pay you $3,000 once that person is hired by us and they hit their 90-day mark. So if you know of anybody that's looking for a new job or looking to change their life, shoot me a DM at Real Ryan Weimer on Instagram.
Let's get it. Love this topic.
Why? Because we don't like realtors or what?
Love agents that do a good job and tell people the truth. The hard part is that what we're seeing is that a lot of the competition we have right now wasn't there 3 months ago in the dead of winter, because in the dead of winter, everyone has that perception that homes don't sell on market. We get to use that to our advantage at that point of the year. This time of the year, it goes the opposite way, where most of the competition we're having are coming from agents who are saying, look, you're about to come on the market. Things are heating up. I just sold something and I got pretty close to the listing. I moved it quickly. And so they're using all this to say, like, look, your MLS is going to be your best option. You should go this route. You're an idiot. We walked into a home last week, divorce situation. She reached out to us on a PPC lead just saying, I'm done. I want to get out of here. Mm-hmm. In the middle of our step out call.
At the appointment.
When we're meeting with her, trying to get final pricing, she gets a call. Agent coming over that afternoon. You're an idiot if you sell this for anything less than $350. You shouldn't do that.
Really?
Our guy walks back in. All of a sudden, her guard's up. I'm not selling for that. That'd be ridiculous. I can't give away all my money. The house needed a ton of repairs. I called her back up the next day. I was like, how did that go? She's like, well, I didn't sign with the realtor. I'm like, how come? She's like, well, she came out, she looked at it, and she told me I really couldn't walk away with anything. I was like, oh, funny that. But I wanted to bring that specific instance up because we're facing that objection a lot. So we're having to train on how to have those conversations about listings whenever, about taking it to the market and not dealing with the ease and convenience of a cash offer, but letting people go through your home for 30, 60, 90, 120 days, whatever that's going to be.
So Cory, why don't we give the listeners, just in closing on this market update episode, yes, with seasonality comes a lot more realtor objections, a lot more scenarios where people are like, well, I'm going to talk to an agent first before I move forward with you. And my neighbor's property sold for this. And so I think I can get that. What are some talk tracks that you use? Let's say I'm a seller. I think that I'm going to go talk to a realtor. What are some talk tracks to use?
Yeah, that's great. How come you haven't already listed it? Was there something you wanted to avoid? Have you ever listed a property before? What was that experience like for you? You want to ask probing questions to see if they have any bad experiences that you can lead into. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, the last home I sold was in 2020. Huh. Where I'm seeing a lot of issues is that people will come in and they're kind of hungry, almost desperate to try to get a listing. And my biggest fear is that they tell you a number you want to hear and maybe not one that you need to hear. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, or even 3 months later, they're having a price renegotiation and it's not their fault, but they set the wrong expectations with you. So we're seeing a lot of homes sit on market, and then people are reaching out to us because they're really frustrated, really upset, because they were given the wrong expectations up front and they haven't been able to move. What would happen to you if that was the case?
I love how you ended it with that question, because you can say all that and they can sit in it. But when you ask the question about what would you do if that happened to you, then all of a sudden they have to imagine themselves in that situation. One of my favorite lines to use is, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, everybody knows a realtor. If you meet with 10 different realtors, who do you think usually gets the listing? What do they say?
The one that gives me the highest price.
Exactly. The one that gives you the highest price. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, like, is price the number one thing for you? Are you looking to get the highest price that you possibly can for this? A lot of people are scared to ask that because they think they're going to be like, it's going to put them in a worse negotiating position, I think. But we're just talking about transparency here, right? If you want to get the most for your property and you can do these repairs and you can afford this and you have the time and you don't have pain, you, by all means, you should do that. So then it's a question of, okay, well, my job is not to tell you what you want to hear, but to give you different options that'll put you in the best position to get to your end goal, to move to Wisconsin to visit your family, or to be with your brother's sister who's going through chemo treatment, or to get out of debt and pay off all these credit cards. That's my job, is to solve that problem for you.
You triggered one more for me we haven't used in a while. Everyone seems to know an agent. Do you have any that are friends or family? And everyone's going to say, well, yes, my brother, my sister, my uncle, my neighbor, the guy who delivers mail to me, whatever it is. Gosh, between all of them, how would you choose? How do you think the other ones are going to feel? And the reason you're asking that is some people actually have chosen to work with us because they were afraid of hurting other people's feelings.
Yeah.
And so we actually just went under contract with a lady who we ended up having a really fun conversation with her friend, real estate agent, she did not sign with because she didn't want to upset the realtor. When she we told her we were going to list it on the MLS. It was part of it. When she, as in the agent, found out, she came off and was like yelling and demanding me cancel the contract and pay her more for it and all this BS.
Lovely.
Just happens all the time. Yeah.
Well, guys, that does it for this episode of the Real Freedom Podcast. We just wanted to do a quick hitter, the pulse of the Boise market and what we're feeling, and also some little quick tips to get over those realtor objections that come with seasonality, come with a new year, new optimism, a spring market. So we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.